Hello Pisces, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Okay, there is an 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups. All right. We're going to put that into some context, all right? I feel like there is something serious going on with you. Maybe we're having some doubts in our heart about something, okay? Let's put that into some context. Okay. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, there is something for which we're starting to kind of lose. We're starting to lose a little bit of heart over something here, right? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. One card from Rider-Waite-Smith. Well, that card, those two cards just insisted. But for the mystery card, we're going to select that one. We'll put Mr. Ed right on top. And we're not going to look at that one until the very end of the reading. And hopefully it will tie everything together, give us the confirmation that we need. But let's see what other two cards came out here. Wow, the Judgment and the World. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. This is very intense. A lot of serious forces here. Let's look at this. Major, 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 major. A lot of divine energy right now. I feel like all of these major arcana cards is kind of like Spirit just giving you a big hug, right? I feel like Spirit has just surrounding you. I feel like you really have this divine protection right now. And I think it's because you have this 8 of Cups. We're starting to have doubts in our heart about something. And Spirit is kind of saying, don't worry, I got you. Big spiritual hug here. Okay. Let's look, because we have a lot of fire energy too. Fire, 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 fire. A little bit of water. No air. A little bit of earth. Yeah, this is something that it's not so much an intellectual doubt. Doesn't really have anything to do with our self-talk, our internal dialogue. This is more of a feeling, I think, that we have. A feeling that what we are doing or what we have been manifesting, we're starting to doubt the path we're on, right? This is the Ace of Wands. This is the divine energy. This is the spiritual light, the force and fire, the spark. This is the source of it all. So I wonder if maybe we're beginning to doubt maybe we're starting to question our faith. Not question really, but have this kind of feeling. Maybe the feeling that we might be wrong. Or this feeling of maybe walking away from something. Serious forces. Serious forces. I think that these major arcana here, the Moon and this Devil energy, I think these are trying to lure you away from your faith, right? Usually the Moon and the Devil card, I say, these are really good energies, really strong. In this case, though, I feel like they're kind of looming above you, right? Because the way they're positioned here, I feel like they're both their energy is kind of trickling down. And now I have to clear something up because I said that all of this major arcana energy, the Judgment, the World, the Empress, the magician, the moon, the devil, all of them together indicate very strong spiritual forces. It is like a divine hug. I think you're under divine protection right now. Spirit has you, trying to protect you. Individually, these cards mean other things too, okay? For instance, I think that you're being tempted away from your path by something. I think the unknown, the uncertainty, the mystery of it is perhaps giving you a little bit of this trepidation, fear perhaps, a little bit of doubting our own faith, right? Doubting our own Ace of Wands. Are you following the right path, right? I usually don't get feelings, this kind of a reading that feels so spiritual or feels so almost religious, you know. This, of course, is strictly non-sectarian. But I can't help but feel like we've been on this path. You've been holding this torch. And I think now you're starting to kind of falter a little bit, or your faith is starting to get a little weak. Maybe you've been kind of standing on your feet for a long time. We're starting to get a little wobbly, right? So I think that we're trying to decide, really, and not mentally, but just in our hearts, in our spirit, trying to feel if this is still the right thing for us. And what is this thing? I don't know. Could be a relationship, a career, could be your spiritual life. It could be your religion, your faith. Okay? It doesn't have to be if you don't consider yourself a spiritual or religious person. This is something that you, I think, have clung to, and now we're starting to get a little shaky on it. Right? Is this something still for us? There's this feeling of abandonment, but I don't know if it's you feeling abandoned by the work, by spirit, by whatever the ace, represents, or if this is you kind of feeling like maybe it's time for you to abandon this work. It could be resonating either way. For some of you, it might be both, right? Both of these feelings might be accurate. Well, let's see if we can get an idea of what really is going on because of all of this fire energy. I feel as if here's the Queen of Wands. I was told that I don't name the cards enough. So the Queen of Wands over here, and I'll shake them and move them around so we can keep our eyes on it. The Queen of Wands here in the recent past. This was the confidence with which we started out with this, right? The Queen has the water energy within them. See, we don't have any water here, right? We don't have any air. We don't have any water. We have very, very limited earth. But the water, we're taking the water with us. We have it in our robes, right? And that water is the divine feeling, the connection, the heart, the spirit that you feel, right? And it led you to make this decision, to carry this torch, to light this flame, and begin this commitment, whatever we're talking about. So you went into this with this very strong, confident, understanding, certainty, this real heart, right? You really felt it within you when you started this work. But now, some of that water is starting to drain out of this Queen of Wands, not feeling it so much anymore. We're still doing it. We still are, I think, committed to this. You're still going through the motions. But there is a question of this fire energy, a question of this Three of Wands. Now, I'm kind of going to jump all over the place here. There's a question of our integrity here. Three of Wands. This is your general energy. And this is all related to this whatever this activity, this work, this commitment, this spiritual path, this career path, education, or this relationship, whatever the fire energy is here, whatever the ace is, whatever you started, you're the type of person that, well, you have a very strong character. You have a lot of integrity. So for you to stay committed to something, you need to make sure that your heart, that your mind, and your body are all in the same direction, all on the same page, right? Thinking, feeling, and action all have to be aligned. All have to be in balance. That's real integrity, right? That's virtue. When your thought, word, and deed are all aimed at this, whatever that is. But that's wherein lies this kind of conflict that we have, because we don't know if we quite feel it in our heart. Maybe we still have it in thinking and in our actions, but maybe not so much in our hearts, right? So we're missing one of these three wands. For this really to be the perfect kind of thing for you, you've got to have all three of these, right? Mind, body, and soul. If one of those is missing, something's not right. We got to figure it out. Yeah. So I feel like maybe there's the absence of the air in the reading is because logically it still makes sense. Your thinking is still on this path, right? Your action is still on this path for the most part. Maybe it's starting to kind of wane too. And then, of course, your feeling is starting to wane a little bit as well. So the reason we have the failure of the Seven of Pentacles is because one of these three wands is not present, and that's the water one, the heart, right? Thinking, feeling, and doing. I think you're thinking fine, you're doing fine, but then we lose the feeling part of it, and then the doing part starts to kind of fizzle out too, and then pretty soon our thinking is gone too, and we've changed our minds. And maybe it's as simple as that, right? Maybe you have to really invoke this Mercury energy and ask Spirit, ask your higher self, true self, your conscience, God, Goddess, deity, spiritual source, ancestors, guardian angel, all of that stuff, for a message, right? You're being protected, you're being almost comforted, supported by this divine energy. But we still have to figure this situation out. We still need to have a clear message, a clear understanding. We need the divine wisdom to tell us, what should I do? Is this just a kind of a test of your heart? Right? Is this a test of your faith? And you've got to stick with it? Are we in a period of, maybe we're approaching a period of dryness, right? Spiritual dryness. And maybe this is something we just endure. We need the wisdom to know if this is a sign that we should be changing course or staying the course. Very intense situation. Very intense. A lot of other spiritual energies, a lot of major arcana here. I like that we have the Empress down below, because this, I think, is something that you, when everything is functioning right, when we're in our Three of Wands, this is a very satisfying life that you lead. Very productive, very connected, very abundant, very joyous. A lot of creation, a lot of love and affection, a lot of joy, right? And that's what you really want. That's kind of that's what really makes you feel good, is when you're so connected with either your faith or your work or your studies, just with life, right? With spirit. You're so connected that everything just feels abundant and loving. Everything feels joyous, right? This is underneath the surface. This is something that we really, this is what motivates us, right? Maybe this is something to do with the Empress. I always feel a sense of like healthcare, but I don't know if this is physical healthcare or spiritual healthcare, emotional healthcare, right? But I feel in some way that you were very connected with this Empress because of this faith that you had, this commitment, this work that you were doing. Has something to do with creating this kind of joy and love and affection and support, nurturing. Maybe it is some sort of health care, right? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever. I feel like we're not feeling the same way about it as we once did. I feel like our heart needs a little bit of this healing that I think you've been providing for others. I think we need a little bit of it too, either to restore our faith in the path that we're on, or to allow us to kind of see the future and what the next path should be. But I think the fact that we are experiencing this loss of heart, I don't know what else to call it, this questioning of faith perhaps, I think that's meant to be a bit of a wake-up call. Here's the Judgment. Right? And the Judgment card now, again, this doesn't really give us the answer. We don't know if this is waking up to the new reality that, hey, you're meant for something else now. Or if this is the idea of a test, a kind of trial by fire situation where Spirit is trying to kind of weed out the non-believers, right? If you don't have the heart, if you're not committed, if you are shaky in your faith, maybe it is not meant for you, right? But that's kind of one of those trick questions, So there's no easy answer here. There's no easy answer, but there is comfort and love and support. Now we have the World card here. And this was one of those cards that just kind of popped out here. And I think the World card, more than anything, is showing that you are kind of being given this big spiritual hug, right? Which is basically saying that whatever decision you make, whatever the development of this situation is the right one, okay? But it's something where we have to invoke the wisdom to understand, for you, for each of you, is this a test? Or is this really a message that says it's time to shift? You're meant for something else now. And I feel like there is a lot of confusion about it. Here is that moon energy. We want this sun to rise. See, in the moon card, there is this beetle that is carrying that sun up to the horizon. We want that new dawn. We want that spiritual light to shine on us. I feel like we're in this kind of a spiritual dryness, maybe a period of darkness. We're not sure of our faith, right? I think this is something that every mystic, magician, any kind of spiritual person goes through. Even if you don't consider yourself religious or whatever, it's fine. I think we all go through a period like this. And in some ways, it is a test of our faith, a test of our resolve, a test of our commitment, of our heart. But it may also be the wake-up call that you're on the wrong path, It's up to our own wisdom and discernment and our own receiving of the divine wisdom and guidance that's going to pull us through this. And the only way to get this is to endure the dryness, endure the darkness until that sun does rise and we get fully illuminated and we can see. Right? And we can see if, I stepped off the path. I had 1 foot on, 1 foot off. I better get back on the path. But we can't receive the light of this wisdom if it's dry and dark, right? So we've got to almost just wait it out. I think that's why we need that big spiritual hug right now. Let's see. We talked about the path of the serpent a little bit. We know about this Three of Wands. And then we've got, of course, the Princess of Wands. Right here, Princess of Wands. And this is our impulse, perhaps to do something hasty, to act from impulse, to do something kind of rash, you know. This is the decision you might make on a whim to just, I'm going to quit my job today. Like, slow down. Slow down. We're in this period of spiritual darkness and dryness. It's a bit of a dark night, right? Let's just wait for the light to dawn. Let's wait for the sun to rise. They always say, you know, you might see things differently in the morning. So I think this card is here because it's probably your instinct right now to just run to something else, to make a move even if it is the wrong one. Yeah. I think that's risky. I think you're skirting danger a little bit. There's a tiger in this picture after all. Yeah. So maybe let's not do this. I mean, this is another card that says maybe it's not time to do something drastic, right? Now, the next card, we talked about this a little bit. Seven of Pentacles, failure. If you don't have all three of these engines in this Three of Wands right here, if you don't have all three of these engines running, your work is going to suffer for it, right? The physical activity, your actual work, right, is going to kind of deteriorate. It's going to diminish in quality. This is another kind of darkness. A lot of these dark cards here, these ones. This is the light emerging from the darkness, right? That yellow coming out of that blue. So this is another card that basically it's in the position of what we don't want. We don't want failure. We don't want our work to suffer. I don't want to feel like I'm doing a bad job at my job, you know? It doesn't mean that I just need to up and quit, right? It means I need to continue trying, understand, feel that the universe has got me. Spirit's giving me a big hug right now. It's one of those hugs that just says, sorry, but you're going to have to be patient, right? Sorry, but you're going to have to just keep doing this until that sun rises, we get out of that dark night, that dryness is over, and we start feeling it again, and we can see and we can kind of turn things around. But again, if one of our engines is not running, we're gonna see the impact of it in our physical world, in our work, in our actions. Okay? If the thinking and the feeling aren't there, the doing's not going to be there so much. And vice versa, right? If you're not doing and feeling, then you're not going to really be thinking very well of it either. They're all interlaced. And that's your integrity. So it's kind of a situation where we have to just endure that. This is the position of what we don't want. But it's here. This is the obstacle. This is what we need. We either do this or we're tempted by this devil energy that something is better somewhere else, and then we might do here. See, our integrity is keeping us enduring this and just doing our best, even if it doesn't meet your standards. Whereas these cards are connected saying, no, it's better if we just quit. Just go somewhere else. It's going to be easier. The grass is greener on the other side somewhere. Right? The devil energy keeps you enslaved because it's always saying the grass is greener over here. Things are tastier over here. And then when you get there and you start saying, I guess it's okay. No, things are better over here now. So it just keeps you kind of following this imaginary carrot. And then I think you were lost. Right? Now, this is the devil card. I love this card. I don't think it's an evil card. It has light and shadow. I think more of its shadow is coming out right now than its light. Okay? Because this light, the light part of this card is, yes, it's a goat that's always hungry, always looking for the fresh grass, right? Looking for more to experience, more to do, more achievement. It's a good energy. But in this case, it will lead you astray. If we're in this kind of dark night right now, it's not a time for us to go in search of greener pastures. We've got to kind of hunker down, right? Batten the hatches. Allow Spirit to give us this hug that we need right now, that will keep us safe and warm while we endure this dark night. Okay? I want to look at the mystery card now. I don't know what that is going to be. Gosh, we've got so many major arcana. Thank you, Mr. Ed. We've got so many major arcana already. Maybe we need like a 6 of swords, kind of showing heart, mind, are united. That we're restoring these 3 engines down here. Maybe we need that. What else could it be? I'm just going to take a wild guess and say it's another major arcana card. It's going to be a card that basically says Spirit's got you. That you are kind of you're under the shadow of the wings right now, right? You're under this kind of divine protection, and you have to just kind of stay the course, right? Maybe it will be, well, we can't have the World card. We already have maybe it'll be another Empress, right? Maybe another Empress card. Maybe a Hierophant, right? Showing that there is a lesson here, and it's best to stay put and learn the lesson rather than running off chasing that goat around the playground, right? It's time to sit and be patient, right? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it is the Hierophant. So I think that the Hierophant is the kind of divine protection. You are under a blessing right now, and it may not feel like it. But know that Spirit is aware of you, and Spirit is informing you and bringing you this situation. Maybe it's a test, maybe not, whatever it is. The important thing is that we don't just get up and run out of the classroom. You'll understand, you'll receive the wisdom, you'll get the message, soon, eventually. But you have to stay for the whole lesson. You can't get up and leave the classroom, right? I like this. I think this is a good confirmation. We're going to do an extended reading as well, Pisces. If you want to stick around for that, click on the link either above or below in the description box. New readings come out every day, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Okay. I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you. And thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.